So enigmatic and charismatic, gotta live static, gotta get at it, never pragmatic, cause we live tragic. I can't live average, to be alive's magic. Turn it up in the back cause I'm grabbing everything I want, get in my way and I'm stabbing.
Welcome everybody to Truth Talk. I am Joe Truth.
Like an addict. I got my eyes on the prize.
Second day,
I wanna live
second
podcast.
Right.
I wanna give those in need a reason to fight. I wanna live every day like it's my last night. I wanna change how we play the game.
Please, if you haven't already, go follow these guys. NEFX, NEFFEX. Hell of a song. What an intro song. Going forward, we'll be using this because this is what we're doing. We're starting a revolution of your mind. We are forcing you to get the truth. What do you say we jump right into it, guys? This is like the fourth attempt to record this podcast. Had some technical difficulties, and I got to tell you, being in the studio now for 4 hours, trying to record an hour podcast, you know, it starts to weigh on you a little bit. But we're not going to stop this time. We're just going to keep going. So if something happens, we don't have the ability yet to edit precisely. So literally, I have to go rolling for 1 hour. It is very hard to do. So I was racking my brain today trying to figure out what am I going to talk about on the next podcast? When will that be? The universe works in mysterious ways, does it not? Because I not only knew what I was going to talk about, but I had to get home so that I could record this while it was so fresh on my mind. So fresh on my mind. You see, today I did something I haven't done in 7 months. I went grocery shopping. Grocery shopping. I've been living off of reserves. I've been living off of eating out, you know, with the holiday honey baked hams, stuff like that, for 7 months. And now I had to finally do something that I've been dreading for some time, and that is go to the damn grocery store. Let me tell you, I have not been this taken back in a really, really long time. The prices and the attitudes of the people. This was one colossal, horrible experience. As I'm shopping, I'm recording TikTok videos that I didn't post, but because I'm so taken back, I'm looking at these prices. I go out and I look, what is the current rate of inflation? 4.9%. 4.9%? No. No way. There is no way that the current rate of inflation is 4.9%. There's no way. $5%. That's what you're telling me. So, I don't know if any of you guys know how they get the current rate of inflation. They take a basket of goods. You know, everyday items, trash bags, milk, cheese, butter, cleaning supplies. And then they take the difference in price from a year ago and then divide it by the number of items in the cart. Boom, there's your rate of inflation. 4.9%. So I went and did the same thing because my basket is not the same as their basket. My basket isn't the same as your basket, and certainly our basket is not the same as their basket. What do you think I came up with? They say 4.9%. 10%? No. It's not 10%. Okay, Joe. 15%. No. It's not 15%. 20%, Joe, for the win. No. It's not 20%. Now, let me just tell you, a used car year to date is 32% more than it was a year ago. 32%. So with that said, under my analysis, my basket, the current rate of inflation is 22.6%. 22.6%. So that means that for every dollar that you spend, because I know there's a lot of people that just aren't privy to what this is. That's by design. They don't teach this for a reason. People come out of high school financially illiterate, take on all this debt. There's a reason they don't teach it. So what it means is for every dollar you spend, it's now costing you $1.23, which when you look at it under this small example of $1, doesn't seem like a lot. But think of all the things that you purchase every single day just to sustain. Your coffees, your gas, some of you smoke, just your daily. Think of the countless dollars you spend a week and add a 23% increase over the entirety of what you buy. Now do that for 7 months and you'll see there's a huge discrepancy. Huge. This is a major deal. Why isn't this being talked about? Why isn't this front and center? Because they don't want you to see it for what it is, and it is the end of this economy. It is the end of the current financial system. Now, I've been telling you for some time, the quantum financial system is built, it is in place, and it is running in tandem with the current monetary system. They need some catalyst to switch this over. And what better catalyst than a disaster, an economic disaster? I've been telling you for some time the housing market is going to crash. I've been telling you for some time that traditional markets, crypto markets are going to crash. We're in big trouble. Big trouble. And it takes just a little bit of research and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, last year, when I was really beating this drum hard, summertime, that we're looking at a possible hyperinflation scenario, people said, "Oh, Joe, those are conspiracies." And here we are with a 23% inflation. Is it hyperinflation? It could be if you look at it under the microcosm of 4.9%. Things can still get a lot worse, and I'm willing to bet they will. Small business is dead. Small business is dead. Corporations have made so much money during this time. So much money. Moderna. I want you to look at the Moderna market cap. These are not things I'm going to put on here since this is going to be on YouTube until we get rolling on Spotify. So you have homework. Go look at the market cap for Moderna pre-pandemic and look at it now. And then tell me this isn't about money and control. It's always been about money and control. I always say this is about one thing, money and control. And people go, well, Joe, I don't know if you don't know how to count. Oh, that's two things. No, it's not. It's one. Money gives you power. Power gives you control. They are tied at the hip. They are one thing. If you get the money, Chico, then you get the power. Once you get the power, then you get the respect. Once you get the respect, then you get the girl, Chico. Money and control. So we're going to dive into inflation, what it means, where we're going, and if there is anything that we can do about it. Because I think we are too far in. We are too far in, and we are so divided on everything that you'll never get people on the same page. So since we talked about inflation and what it is, I want to add to that because I guarantee you that you haven't had a 23% increase in your pay. Understand that your purchasing power of your dollar has taken a 23% hit in this past year. 23%. It's rendering your dollar almost useless. Now, you don't see it, some of you. Some of you do. I'm not addressing everyone. But for those that are not financially literate, you don't see it. But your purchasing power is so much less. And the fact that you're not getting an increase in pay to keep up with inflation just doubles down on this hit to your purchasing power. The equality gap keeps getting bigger. They have done away with small business. They have done away with the middle class. Small business has taken such a big hit. If it wasn't for the emergency money that was provided, we would not have made it through. And it took an act of God for us to take that money. I was ready to shut the doors to not take that money. Like it was a lot of painstaking conversations with employees. I let them be a part of it because I was not ready to take that money. I was so convinced in my beliefs that I was just like, no, not going to do it. But had it been for that, we wouldn't have survived. And there are many out there, many, that took that money that shut their doors. Many. There are many out there that used the system and never owned a business in the first place and still got these checks. It was a free-for-all. It was the Wild West. Just like everything else, it was ill-planned and ill-executed for a reason. They say follow the money. It's really hard to follow that money. There's a lot of research over many years. And there are those of you that got your PPP checks that one day they're going to come for you because you work the system. We're in trouble, folks. We're in major, major trouble. I mean, it takes your breath away to think about it. We are headed towards a new financial system that isn't propped up by debt. And we're going to talk about that here in a few. A lot of people want to know why we are where we are. If you are not physically literate, financially literate, then your question should be, most would say, why? Why is this happening? Now, they give you some pretty standard cookie cutter reasons, don't they? Well, there's issues with supply chain. Things are costing more because there's a huge issue with supply chain. No, it's not it. Oh, well, there's a huge worker shortage. There's a huge shortage in workers, and things are just costing more because we're having to pay people more to get them to work. Nope, that's pretty cookie cutter. Well, there's equipment and raw materials due to supply chain issues, but there's a lack of equipment, there's a lack of raw materials, which is costing. This is my political voice. This is my politician voice. Well, things are just costing more to produce because of that. So what's the real reason? What's the real reason? Do you remember all of the trillions of dollars that we printed and threw at this pandemic? The biggest money grab ever. Do you remember the trillions and trillions of dollars, the stimulus checks, baby? Give me my stimmy check. I never not seen the first stimmy check. Yo, give me my stimmy check. You remember all that? When you continue to produce something in abundance, the value is much less. Think about things that are worth a lot of money. Bitcoin. There is a finite amount of Bitcoin. After that, there'll be none produced. Diamonds are very hard to find for a reason. You just can't go to your backyard and find oil and diamonds. There is a limited amount of these resources available. That's what gives it its value. We printed so much money. So much. No more cash registers, please. So much money that we took the value of our money and drove it into the ground. Now, I just told you that your purchasing power is not what it used to be. You've taken a 22.6%, roughly 23% hit on your purchasing power. That was after we printed all this money and drove your cash into the ground. Your money has no power. Your money has no power. There's so much of it. And the corporations of the world, the big dogs of the world, have the majority of it. That's why crypto was such a beautiful thing. It was such a beautiful thing. in the beginning, because it gave us another way of value. It gave us another way to spend without government interference. Now, that has since changed. The Fed has since said this year we will regulate crypto. But there in its infancy, it was a beautiful thing. But what has come from it is a new quantum financial system that is on the horizon. Make no mistake, it's coming. And it will give them much more power and control. It will give them visibility on everything you purchase. They will now know what you consume and when you consume it. I said we needed to be very careful with this, because this has the chance to change humanity for the better or for the worst. And when we're talking about humanity, 9 times out of 10, you can guarantee it's going to be for the worst. Now there is a quantum financial system that is running in the background. Each one of you has a digital, I want to say it again, a digital identity. Each one of you exists somewhere digitally in this digital world. And when I say that, please understand, this is coming very soon. Very, very soon. You know, Facebook, Metaverse, start tying this stuff together. They have us so divided right now on every single topic that we are blind to the facts. This is not about global dominance. There's no grand plan to take over the world. But every single person, every single entity, every single corporation has pounced on this and taken advantage of the situation. And collectively, yes, a lot of things are about to change. And it's not for the better. I'm not saying it's for the worse, but it's not for the better. Give me 1 second. Stella wanted to be privy to the podcast. So now Stella Bug is here with me now. All right. So a lot of things are about to change. It is happening, whether we like it or not. So I would say it's time to educate yourself. And that's what we're going to attempt to do over this next year, is educate everybody about everything relevant to what's going on. The inflation factor is huge. Why is it not front and center? If it was front and center, then a smart individual that continues to hear this day after day, that possibly is not financially literate, would start to educate themselves. They do not want you educated. They do not want you educated, because if you can start to understand, then you can start to prepare. You can find a way to opt out of this. They do not want that. Because, yes, at the end of the day, it's about control. Without being a conspiracy theorist, imagine a world where each of us have a virtual wallet. There's no more banks. There's no more banking in its current form. We all know banks get over on us like you wouldn't believe. They take your dollar, they loan it out 10 times, and they make money on that. Then they kick you like a penny a week, penny a month for your troubles. They get over to the nth degree. The poor stay poor, they get richer because they're able to take your dollar and loan it out so many times. They don't want you to know this. They don't teach this. Money is a tool. People put too much stake in the actual physicality of money. Like, oh, I got to have a big wad in my pocket. Money is a tool. You just haven't been taught on how to use that tool. And it's a shame. Because that's the big problem. Nobody understands how to use money to their advantage. But imagine a world where you have a digital wallet. And just say, we're going to use this as an example. And it may not be the best example given the current state of things. But just say there's a health emergency. And you have to take X, Y, and Z immediately. Well, we're just so divided on things always. Some will be like yes, and some will be like no. Well, for the no's, we have something for you. Either do it or be penalized. And say it's a monetary penalty, 100 credits a week. Until you get to the point where we just shut off your wallet. You're not able to purchase anything unless you adhere. They'll have so much control. Imagine a world where you no longer have your money. It exists digitally, which means that ultimately somebody can get to it. And if they can get to it, they will shut it down. I have accounts that are frozen now, pending this lawsuit. But imagine that on a whim, with no legality. It's about money and control. It always has been. Now, sorry, I digress. I'm sure we got a little ahead of ourselves. So what is coming? If I was a betting man, what do I think is coming? In order to usher in a new, you must escort out an old. Can't have two of them existing. In order for this new financial system to come, the old has to go, and it will go painfully. So here's what I see happening. The housing market's going to crash. So if you are about to buy a house, maybe, just maybe, you hold off and you get it for pennies on the dollar. Maybe. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Tired of hearing that. Everybody seems to be an expert now. I'm telling you what I know to be true. I have professional people in the industry, top-notch realtors, top-notch builders, people that are making millions, that are telling me The housing market is going to burst. And there will be pain. Nobody is talking about the mortgage and rent moratorium that went on for several months. People want their money. And nobody has it. You don't have 6, 7, 8, 9 months of rent just laying around. They're going to want their money. There's going to be foreclosures, the likes of which we haven't seen maybe ever before, and the housing market is going to burst. That will have a domino effect on everything. The markets. The Fed has already told you that they're going to raise rates at least 3 times in the coming year. Every time they raise rates, there will be a huge impact on the markets. So the housing markets crashed. The financial markets will crash. What do you think is going to happen? Fear. Fear. People are going to be afraid to spend. Thus, they will freeze what they are doing. We're talking about economic chaos. The housing markets crashed. The financial markets have crashed. People aren't spending. The economy won't grow. You'll start to hear the word recession. Recession plus inflation or hyperinflation will certainly be a perfect recipe for depression. Nothing? Nothing? Crickets. Crickets. Because when you hear that word, you know what you've been taught about the 1920s. You know what you've been taught. You've seen the pictures. I'm telling you, people, this has the potential to be very bad. We don't live in the 20s. Our morality isn't what it used to be in the 20s. You put that scenario into this culture, you got the makings of a disaster. Unrest. They're already pillaging. They're already going to high-end stores and wiping them out in a matter of minutes. In the middle of malls, they don't care. They'll be able to usher in a new financial system like that. I can't, like that. There it goes. And the new age will be born. The quantum financial system will be born. That's what you can expect. Will it be this year? I don't know, but I think there's a very good chance that we're here. We're at the precipice. Nobody saw this for what it truly was. A money power grab. Nobody's put that together. And those that have put it together have been labeled conspiracy theorists and cast out to the fringes of society. But the facts are the facts. When all the pieces of the puzzle fit, you start to develop a picture. This is your window into the future. Now, if you guys remember, I called the election to a T before they even announced who would be running against Donald Trump. I was able to take those pieces of the puzzle, put it together, and get a picture. I even called the vice president nominee to a T, her exact name, before anybody even knew who she was outside California. You got to start thinking forward. You got to start using your critical thinking skills, because what is coming will be the economic COVID. And it will change the game for everyone. Go do some research on the 20s and see how people lived when they had nothing. Community. It was about community. Because that's where we're headed. Why do you think all these people are linking up? There are people out there that are buying land. They're getting all these individuals together. Everybody's pitching in. They're buying land. They're trying to protect themselves. They're able to look at the pieces and start to put them together. And it's nothing good, because the rich will always be rich. They're rich not just with monetary means. They're rich with knowledge. They know how to use money as a tool. And the poor will always be poor because they're uneducated. Not just across the board, they're financially illiterate. They don't understand the concept of money. They don't understand how the financial system works. They don't understand how to use money as a tool. There's a reason they keep those people illiterate to the financial side of things. Now, I hate to be all doom and gloom all the time. I hate it. I want to have good news for you. I wish that we were in different circumstances. I wish that we had different leadership. And I can't stress it enough. If you have an opportunity to step in the political arena, I suggest that you do so. That opportunity is not for me, but it could be for you. The fundamentals have to change before anything changes. One person can make a difference, but together, you can't stop us. It's sad, right? Like, you hear this, and even as I speak it, like, I just feel this somberness coming over me. This is how divided we are. I went live the other day, yesterday, I believe, and I had on a hat that had an American flag on it. The Buckeyes played in the Rose Bowl, and I was Buckeyed out. And it's a hat, an Ohio State hat, that has an American flag on the front of it. And somebody had the audacity to say, "I really like your Pride hat with a bunch of rainbows." When did that become something to mock? Something to ridicule, something to joke about? When did that, the symbol of this nation, and so many that have died for it, when did that become a punchline? This current generation that is being groomed, they're being groomed to hate what is good and embrace what is wrong. You know, when we talk about racism, there's only one way to change it, because it is taught. So is hatred. Hatred is not genetic. Hatred is not in your genome. Hatred is taught. This generation is being taught to hate itself. It's being taught to hate its history. It's being taught to hate everything good, and is being taught to embrace everything that is bad. So let's say it happens. Let's say we march on through this year. The markets crash, all of them. We find ourselves not just in a recession, but a depression. The economy starts to contract. People aren't working. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of misery. Now sprinkle on top of it this generation that's being taught to hate. That everything good is bad and everything bad is good. How do you think this plays out? Think about it. How do you think this will play out in the streets of America? They will take what they need. But they won't stop there. They will take what they want as well. Keep thinking that all of this isn't connected. Keep thinking that all of this is some big ruse. Keep thinking that we're all crazy with tinfoil hats on. Keep thinking that this is a conspiracy, because when it happens, you will be saying, what the hell happened? How did this happen? Because you let it. Because you didn't educate yourself, and you definitely didn't teach your kids any different. It's a lot to hear. It's a lot to understand how we go from inflation to this. But it's all under the financial scope of things. Because people want to know the why, people want to know the what, and people want to know what's coming. So you got to give the whole thing, the whole picture to them. This generation has been taught that the government will save them. The government will come. The government will save them. Once they find out that they won't, then they'll take. That's what they've been taught to do. Hate what is good and embrace what is bad. What's bad is good and what's good is bad. And it will be a disaster. So what can you do? Like, that's probably at this point, after listening to 45 minutes of this, what can you do today, right now? I would not keep a lot of cash on hand. I would try to get hard assets. If you have money, then try to get you some land. I know it's kind of sketchy, because they can come and just take whatever. You know that. They took my business. Try to get you some hard assets, some land, maybe a couple properties, maybe some gold, some silver, ammo. Ammo is going to be a big thing. You wait and see. I bought a couple pallets of ammo before all this craziness. and I burnt through one. I sold it, and I made a hell of a return on it. Start being forward thinking to what people are going to need, what are necessities in this possible scenario. Because it's not just possible, it's very plausible that it's going to happen. And yes, I'm still an advocate for crypto, although I think those parabolic gains, those, oh dude, I put 200 in and I made $600,000, I think those are over, but the next bull run will be that of utility. Because the digital currencies that are coming, that are currently working behind the scenes, and trust me, they are, they won't be able to facilitate everything. So they will lean on these projects and kind of consume that project and suck it into it, that digital currency. They will need these guys. So utility is where it's at. XRP. People always talk about XRP. They think this is the chosen one. It's a good place to make some money for sure. But so is Bitcoin. So is Ethereum. I'm still an advocate for crypto. It's just your Doge and your SHIB and all that stuff. It's done. It's over. They've delivered the death punch to non-utility crypto. Start building communities. What do I mean by that? Start networking, meeting people close to you, just in case. Just in case I'm not just right, but I'm dead on right. There's power in numbers. Who knows where this goes? But you've already seen 2 years of abnormality. 2 years of ultimate division. Like, people are going at it, man, over everything. They can't agree on anything, and that is the point. They don't want you to agree. They don't want you to be understanding. No, they don't. That segregation is important to them. That division keeps them one step ahead. I mean, think about all that has happened in the last 24 months and how divided we, the people, have been. And hell, half of them are so divided with their colleagues that they can't get shit done either. They just can't. Don't do anything crazy with your money right now. I'm telling you. Don't do anything crazy with your money right now. If you're about to buy a house, think about it. Get some financial advice from multiple sources. You know? Of course, the realtor isn't going to shoot you straight. They want to make the sale. There are other people in the industry that will shoot you straight. Of course, the banker isn't going to shoot you straight. He wants you to sign the loan. But there are other people in the industry that will shoot you straight. I often get asked that question, hey, should I buy a house or not? If I'm not buying a house, how the hell can I tell you to buy a house? When I moved to my current location, I had an opportunity to buy or to rent, and I rented for a reason. We've seen this coming for multiple years. We've been here now 2 years trying to push the truth of things onto you, because we just knew that it wasn't okay. There are things that are not right. Fundamentally wrong. That's a big term. Fundamentally wrong. The best thing we did was create a community of people. And unfortunately, we tried to add different components and it kind of ripped it apart. But we're going to get back to that. So if any of you are really good at Discord and building that structure, please let me know. Because I'd like to build a community again where people can just go and find other individuals, find resources, network, without all the other stuff. My Telegram is a place where you can go and meet other people, but it's time to start prepping for what could potentially be a major deal this year. Major. You know, I said it all year. The spring of next year, I really think these markets are going to crash. I really do. And the signs are everywhere. This inflation component just is the stamp on top of it. Signed, sealed, delivered. This inflation component is a big, big deal. It doesn't happen all the time. And certainly not in this magnitude. A lot of you keep asking, and I feel like I got to say this again, probably every podcast, how can you help? How can you help? You've now seen an individual take a stand and be decimated for taking a stand. How can you help? You can help with your time and your skill. The Discord is a way you can help. If you are a web developer, I could use your brain, your skills, your talents. You could help with that. All of you could help. You know, we want this to be as big, if not bigger, than, say, an InfoWars without all the craziness. We want people to know what's really going on. Enough of the song and dance. Or you could help financially. Keep this thing going. You know, you see the Cash App, the Venmo, the PayPal, it's there. None of that changes. The stuff on the bottom of the screen, the Instagram, the TikTok, the Discord, all that's going to change. None of that is valid anymore. Or you could just help by supporting the community, being active, reaching out, helping people. People are afraid right now. People are afraid. They don't know where we're going. They don't understand what's going on. They just know it's not right. You could help educate them without bias. That's the most important part. It's got to be without bias. It's easy to give your perception and your opinion. It's hard to give facts, an informed piece of information to somebody. Because sometimes it's not what you think. And sometimes it's not what you believe. It's just the facts. I think we can get it together. I think we can prep for this. I don't think there's any stopping it, but there's a way that you can be comfortable through it until this new system gets rolled out and put into place, and then we see how this whole deal works. You can prep for it, you can plan for it, and unless you hit the Powerball, which, don't worry, I will hit it, and you guys won't. That's just how it is. I'm speaking that shit into existence. You know, you're going to need one another. Dan Pena, somebody I follow, I love his outlook on things. He said money, the people say money can't buy happiness. They don't know where the hell to shop. I love his raw nature. And I try to give you guys raw nature. I don't try to give you something that's sugar-coated, and sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. And for that, it is what it is. Hopefully I explained this to you. I opened your eyes to some things. I educated you a little bit. Now that you have that door that's been opened, walk through it. Dive down that rabbit hole. Figure it out. All the information is out there for you. How you can prepare and prep for this financially. Start to take control of your future. Start to change how you are going to react to these things as they unfold. That is the single most important part of all this. Probably going to take a day or two off from the podcast. Probably have another one, say midweek. Again, if you have comments on what you would like us to dive into, please post them here on the YouTube. If you're on Buzzsprout, go over to the YouTube and post the comments about what you want to see us jump into. This is listener-driven information. Today just happened to be because I went grocery shopping and was blown away. But until next time, I'm Joe Truth. God bless you all.
So enigmatic and charismatic, gotta live static, gotta get at it, never pragmatic, cause we live tragic. I can't live average, to be alive's magic. Turn it up in the back cause I'm grabbing everything I want, get in my way and I'm stabbing. I'll be moving crowds till I'm 6 feet napping. They need another fix, hooked on like an addict. I got my eyes on the prize and it's changing lives. I wanna live till I die, make a difference, right? I wanna give those in need a reason to fight. I wanna live every day like it's my last night. I wanna change how we play the game, rearrange all the pieces till they say my name, push an agenda against doing what they say. I wanna stand up and start a revolution. I wanna start a revolution. I wanna start a revolution.